Beneath our very feet, a world wages endless war. It's a world ruled not by kings or presidents, but by queens, commanding armies of millions. These are the wars of the ants, silent, ruthless, and more strategic than any human conflict you can imagine. Colonies rise and fall in the dark, where tunnels twist like the veins of a living planet. They fight for food, for territory, and for the sheer right to survive. But their greatest enemies aren't always other ants. Sometimes it's an empire far older, an ancient rival, the Termite kingdoms. Today, witness the hidden battles that shape the underworld, where the ground itself becomes a war zone. This ant wars, when colonies collide and termite kingdoms fall. A single ant colony can be larger than a sprawling city, home to millions of workers, soldiers, and larvae, all united under one queen. Her scent, her unique pheromones, is the flag of their nation. It tells every single ant who they are, where they belong, and what they are willing to die for. She is the heart of the empire, her abdomen pulsing as eggs roll out like precious pearls. But when the queen's scent weakens, the empire begins to fracture. Rebellions rise from within. Rival factions challenge the throne. The history of ants is soaked in the blood of civil wars, where sisters turn against sisters in the tight confines of their tunnels. When resources run low, colonies divide. New queens take their loyal followers and march away to form new kingdoms. But sometimes they don't leave, they fight. One scent too strong, one wrong step across a chemical border, and the ground explodes into violence. Every ant colony guards its territory with invisible lines, chemical borders that outsiders dare not cross. But when two colonies grow too large, their foraging zones inevitably overlap, and war begins. As the sun rises, tiny trails cross paths, and the tension builds. Then, with a sudden twitch of antennae, the attack is on. Soldier ants surge forward like dark waves. They bite, they spray acid, and they tear limbs from their enemies. Some of these battles last for hours. Others wage on for weeks without end. They bring home the dead, but not for burial. In the brutal efficiency of the ant world, the fallen become nutrients for the living. The battlefield is cleaned, the enemy's bodies carried back to the nest and recycled. In Africa, we see one of the most organized armies in the animal kingdom, the Matabele ants. They conduct daily raids on termite mounds with specialized attack units that even include medics. These medics rescue wounded soldiers from the front lines. If an ant loses a leg, others will carry it home. They lick its wounds clean with antimicrobial saliva, saving up to 80% of their injured comrades. There are no medals here, no glory, only duty. When victory is declared, the defeated colony's nest is plundered. Their brood is stolen, their food stores are emptied, and their queen is executed. The victors expand their tunnels, absorbing any survivors into their own ranks. This isn't chaos. This is cold, calculated strategy. It's empire building in miniature. Some ant species have perfected an even darker art. Enslavement, they are the slavers of the underworld. At dawn, a crimson column of raiders marches single file through the leaves, not in search of food, but of life itself. They infiltrate neighboring colonies, steal the larvae and pupae, and carry them back like stolen treasure. When the stolen young emerge from their cocoons, they recognize the scent of their captors, not their birth colony. They grow up completely unaware they were born in another nest and dedicate their lives to serving their new masters. Generations of slaves tirelessly maintain the colony they were stolen to sustain. These raider ants have become so specialized for war that they've lost the ability to even feed themselves. They depend entirely on their slaves for survival. They exist for one purpose only: war. Each raid is a surgical strike. Scouts map the routes, soldiers breach the nest walls, and workers swarm in to collect the loot before retreating before the enemy can regroup. In the world of ants, conquest is evolution's dark masterpiece. They live side by side, yet they are ancient enemies. Ants, the predators of the light; termites, the builders of the dark. For over 100 million years, these two civilizations have fought beneath our feet in wars that make human legends look like minor squabbles. Termites build incredible fortresses, cathedrals of soil and saliva, reinforced with fungus and their own waste. Inside, soldiers with massive, crushing jaws and chemical sprayers stand guard. Deep within this fortress lives their Queen, an enormous, pulsating, egg-laying machine, protected by layers upon layers of fanatical defenders. But the ants come like shadows in the night. Scouts test the air, map the entrances, and send signals back to the army. Within minutes, a black tide surges forward in a coordinated invasion. Acid sprays from both sides, formic acid from the ants, glue-like secretions from the termites. The air fills with the sharp scent of chemical warfare and the sound of snapping jaws. The termites fight with the desperation of a civilization under siege. Their powerful jaws can crush an attacker in a single bite, but they are slower. The ants are faster, more agile. They sever heads, swarm over defenders, and flood deeper and deeper into the termite tunnels. They move like a black storm, overwhelming defenses, slaughtering everything in their path. Termite soldiers fall, bravely blocking tunnels with their own bodies to give others a precious few seconds to retreat. If the ants can reach the Queen's chamber, the colony is doomed. Deep underground, the massive termite queen vibrates, helpless. Sometimes the ants succeed. Sometimes the termites manage to hold them off. In the African savannas, these wars between Matabele ants and Macroterms termites can shift entire ecosystems. Where ant raids are frequent, termite mounds shrink and grasses regrow. Where the ants fail, the termite fortresses rise again, towering meters above the soil. But for every battle lost, 1,000 more begin. Ants attack for food. Termites fight for existence. It is a war older than mammals, still raging, unseen, every single day. Even within a single species, power is fragile. If a queen grows weak, her pheromones fade. The scent that once united her empire now signals its decay. Rival females, often her own daughters, rise to challenge her. Her loyal soldiers may even turn on their own mother. A colony might consume its own queen, recycling her body to feed the new larvae that will secure their future. From her death, new queens rise. Sometimes, two colonies merge by accident. Their scents confuse each other, temporary alliances form, and then, inevitably, betrayal sparks a brutal civil war. In some Amazonian species, armies of clones fight their genetic twins' mirror image wars, where each side is a perfect reflection of the other, tearing each other apart. Ant wars aren't chaos. They are biology's chess game, ancient, precise, and utterly merciless. After the carnage, life begins anew. The battlefield, littered with the bodies of ants and termites, isn't a wasteland. It's a source of new life. The fallen enrich the soil. Fungus grows, new plants rise, and new colonies form. When the rains come, new queens take to the sky in their nuptial flight, the eternal reset button of nature's grand machine. Each one carries the memory of 1,000 wars in her genes. Each one begins again. The world turns quietly above, but below. The earth still trembles as ants continue to fight for their right to exist. Every battle beneath us, Every clash of mandibles and every fallen soldier shapes the delicate balance of our planet. The ants remind us that civilization is built on cooperation and defended by conflict. If you felt the power of this hidden war, join our mission to uncover the untold stories of nature. Subscribe and share Animal X Factor so we can keep exploring this incredible planet together.